What kills the women? There's no gloves, there's no electricity in the hospital. The nurses or the doctors are not on duty because they have gone their 4th month without pay and all that. And I will remind you that Uganda, among many countries, is a signatory to the Abuja Declaration that was encouraging countries to only up the healthcare budget, and it will solve the maternal deaths. But in Uganda, it is more important to the regime to sustain the rule of General Museveni than caring for its people. I could spend a whole day on the healthcare system, even where you know, even where ordinary citizens are trying to help, you know, they are stopped by the regime. I will also inform you that recently, just last year, the Museveni government here in Uganda offered 32 hectares of prime land in Uganda to an investor, a foreign investor, and they offered $378 million. I'll say this again for clarity. The Museveni government gave $378 million to a foreign investor. That's equivalent to 1.3 trillion Ugandan shillings to build a specialized hospital. That is what they promised. I'll tell you that more than a year later, not even a foundation has been put. Now, this is the same person, this is the same foreigner that has been awarded the rights to be the sole trader of coffee. Now, I will tell you that when I was young, Uganda was the 2nd largest exporter of coffee after Brazil in the world. Coffee is what took me to school and many people in my generation. Today, Ugandans are being blocked from trading in coffee and given to this very one so-called investor that was given $378 million to build a specialized hospital, which has not been built now. Having told you that, I will conclude by again saying that we do not have a government, we have a kleptocracy. We have bandits that took over our country and they robbed and looted our country for 36 years and counting. That's the situation in Uganda.
You, as one of the main players of the political activities within Uganda, have you, as a major politician in your country, written the government outlining solutions to some of the problems, particularly in the health sector or some other areas?
Certainly, and it is not just me. I will tell you that what I am saying, many people have said, many other leaders have said. Some have been compromised, bought off and silenced. Some have been intimidated, harassed. Many ran into exile. Many have been taken to prison. And yes, very many of them have been killed, including religious leaders. So I am only repeating what has been said over the years. The solutions are there. First, there should be a government that is accountable to the people. A government that is scared to steal because the law will go after them. We have always been advocating for, empowering institutions for as long as we have one individual that is all powerful. He or she and their family and cronies are going to own the country and are going to be answerable to nobody. We want to have a government where the citizens are the true masters and those that are in government are servants and therefore serving the people. That is how we're going to solve the corruption problem. That is how we're going to solve the dictatorship problem. That is how we're going to
approach these complex issues of Uganda?
There are very many issues, and we outlined our basic 5. We put this fist up there. The fist has 5 fingers, and these are the most pressuring of our problems. Number 1 is health care, and we have suggested that it's as simple as adopting the proposals that other countries like Rwanda, like Kenya have adopted, and we are shipping our sick people to Kenya, you know, countries that we were, because they adopted these resolutions, up the healthcare budget so that the doctors, nurses and medical workers can be well paid. Today, we are having striking medical workers who worked during COVID. They have not been paid. So focus on healthcare. Make sure our people are well. Focus on education. We suggested many things in education, but precisely we talked about the 3 A's, and that is the arts, the athletics, and academics, so that we are not only building or educating or preparing job seekers, but we are preparing job creators as well. We talked about improving the respect of human rights and the rule of law, because that way we are all going to be answerable to the law. That way the rights of our people to speak out and criticize corrupt leaders is going to be protected. If we have that, no journalist or media personality is going to be harassed for exposing corruption, for exposing government fraud, for exposing misrule. We have made various proposals on agriculture. Today, we have unemployment, and yet the agriculture sector, before it was hijacked by a few, used to, you know, maintain our people. I will tell you that many Ugandans actually did not get a formal education, but they were able to sustain their people. Now agriculture has gone to the dogs. The cooperative unions that used to bring farmers together, help them in terms of advising and extending loan facilities to them, are no more. Things like that. Solving Uganda's problem is not rocket science, because it has been suggested in it has been suggested a great deal. But most importantly, involve the people. Let the people of Uganda be part of nation developing. That, among many other solutions, will fix Uganda's problem.
How do you intend to strengthen the judicial system of Uganda? Is there something that Ugandans can trust in?
Well, I will say it relentlessly that the judicial system, just like the legislature, is a mockery and a shadow of itself. I ran for president, and I believe that I defeated General Museveni. However, he announced himself winner. We went to the Supreme Court to challenge the election results. But guess what? The Chief Justice himself acted outside the law, rejected our evidence, conducted themselves in a very contemptible manner, to the extent that even another justice of the Supreme Court had to come out and lambast the Chief Justice, who had actually stolen the file of his fellow justice of the Supreme Court. Now, that is a judicial system in Uganda. I am talking about the Chief Justice, and that should trickle down and show you where we are, you know. As of now, in Uganda today, the military court-martial is stronger than the entire judicial system. When anybody is arrested wearing a t-shirt that has my image, they are not taken to the civilian court. They are taken to the military court. And that explains why many of my comrades, of the supporters that worked with, and even elected leaders, are still rotting in prison, because they were presented to the military court. The military court is the court now. It replaced the civilian court. That is the judicial situation in Uganda today.
Let me come in with this question, because it reminds me about during the just ended election in Uganda, several of your members were rounded up and sent to jail. were you able to secure the release because they were being arrested on multiple occasions? When you go, so you see this person is arrested, supporter of Bobi Wine. Have you been able to secure the release of your supporters, or do we still have people in prison?
Well, some have been released because of enormous pressure, but I will mention that hundreds of them are still rotting, languishing in jail. When they release 5 people, they abduct 10. And please underline the word abduct, not arrest, but abduct. You must have seen recently when a world-renowned author was abducted because he annoyed the son of dictator Museveni and was whipped slave trade style. He had to run out of the country. So that's the situation in Uganda. When they release one, they abduct 2. That is how we have been moving, and sadly that's how we continue to move.
Where are the human rights actors in Uganda? What are they doing to secure the release of those you allege are in prison? Because these are some of the human rights violations if you made.
I will tell you that most, if not all, dictators read from the same playbook. The first thing they do is to co-opt and compromise all institutions. They pick sycophants and put them in positions of responsibility. Our constitution provides for the Uganda Human Rights Commission, but the Uganda Human Rights Commission, is run by regime apologists. Just recently, after many innocent members of our party were abducted by the military, tortured to near death, we showed them to the world with terrible wounds of torture. However, the head of the Uganda Human Rights Commission said that the media is exaggerating torture, torture cases. Now that is the situation where you have a head of the Uganda Human Rights Commission looking at torture but calling it massage. What more would you want me to comment on that?
Let's move to your members, the NUP MPs. Are you impressed about the performance of NUP MPs within the parliament? Your members.
Thank you very much. When we were sending those comrades to parliament, we made it clear that this is not a normal parliament, and therefore they were going to parliament to use it as another front to push the struggle for freedom and democracy and the respect for the rule of law and human rights in Uganda. And I'm proud to inform you that so far, so good with them. But again, on the same note, I will inform you that 2 of NUP members of parliament have been in prison now close to 6 months for crimes that were, trumped up, and now they are languishing in prison. And that is the Honorable Alan Sewanyana and the Honorable Muhammad Sejirinya.
You contested in the just ended elections in Uganda, and one of the main candidates that gave a very tough time to the current president, and you claimed that you had the solutions to the problems Ugandans face in the country currently, and you also alleged that you won the election. What are the plans do you have for Ugandans in terms of lifting Ugandans from abject poverty to a better living condition, which you claim that they are living in the country?
Thank you very much. My brother, being lifted out of poverty is a basic thing, I would say, for a country like Liberia. But in Uganda, the first desire that we want is to be human beings. My number one desire is to see myself and my people lifted, not just out of poverty, but out of slavery. In Uganda, we are still living like slaves. We want, first of all, to be lifted out of slavery. And the plan to be lifted out of slavery is to awaken all Ugandans, especially the young people, who are the majority. I mean, more than 85% in my country are younger than me. So our desire is to be lifted out of slavery, because General Museveni has enslaved an entire population, 45 million Ugandans. Before anything, we want to stop being slaves. And after being slaves, then we can forge another way forward.
Let's move on to this issue, looking at the election in the country. There are many persons that supported you and they died in the process because of some other reasons. What are you doing as the head of NUP in Uganda to seek justice, or to get justice for those of the people that got killed in the process?
Well, let us be honest and clear here and call everything what it is. Many people were murdered on the orders of Museveni and his son Muhoozi. What are we doing to seek justice? We cannot find justice here in Uganda because the entire judicial system is suffocated. So we have been making efforts all over the world, and this, what I'm doing right now, is yet another effort to create as much awareness as possible. We want to hold accountable all the bodies, all the organizations that we are part of, the East African community, which we know that has largely been silent on the plight of oppressed people. It is sad to see that even the African Union seems to be a club of presidents instead of an organization that is supposed to seek redress for the problems of Africans. And we are reduced to highlighting our challenges to the international community. General Museveni, like many other dictators, called those that challenge them internationally as international puppets. But these are the only options we are left with. We have petitioned the International Criminal Court and taken General Museveni, his son, and all those murderers that are masquerading as security operatives in Uganda. We have taken them to the International Criminal Court, and we are hopeful that as day follows night, we will get justice.
Give us your vision for Uganda. We're going to give you some time, and we want you to explain how to...
I'm sorry? Am I on?
Hello.
Yeah.